What is your strongest held opinion? You can't control how you feel, but you can control how you act. Sometimes the bad guy has a point, even if he's still the bad guy. Question everything. Never stop asking why are things the way they are. If you only get your information from one source, you aren't informed. The whole "don't do unto others what you don't want done unto you" thing. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, understand their circumstance, then judge. Add on, if someone is doing something that literally does not affect you or anyone else, leave them the alone. It can happen here. Doesn't matter much what it is, or how long ago it happened last. People are still people, we just have fancier toys now. It can happen again and it can happen here. Plan accordingly. Just because you disagree with / dislike someone doesn't mean they deserve to be treated poorly. During late 2018 and early 2019 there was a huge undercover Reddit marketing campaign by bidet manufacturers to sell more bidets. This ended when a comment once joked about how there had to be some sort of bidet conspiracy theory because they were seeing so many posts praising them. Think back, I guarantee that you've noticed how many comments like, "I love my bidet, and it changed my life, and I could never go back." You've seen here on Reddit a while back. You couldn't throw a rock in a thread without calling in the bidet praise squad. But, since that one joke about it being a conspiracy, they all just vanished overnight. My guess. Big bidet flew too close to the sun and got spooked, and without that sweet cash flow, Redditors didn't have any more incentive to talk about bidets, which is why you don't see any more comments about it. There is no war in basing SE, big bidet. Being educated does not mean you're intelligent. If I learned anything in college it was this. I have 2 college degrees, and I met plenty of stupid people while I was there, including some professors. Not everyone was stupid obviously, but it was definitely more than a few. I've also met plenty of people who have never set foot inside of a university that were significantly smarter than me. Sexual assault charges, including molestation, sodomy, and child sex charges, as well as human trafficking and child porn, should carry heavier sentences than drug charges. It's BS that people who have actually changed their lives and haven't been around the drug lifestyle for years can't even get a decent job because of a record in the societal view of it due to the government money machine war on drugs. Libraries are absolutely vital public services, and politicians who attempt to bleed them dry through slow cuts to funding are depriving their communities of a fundamental good. If you look down on and or mistreat waitstaff, janitors, retail workers, etc., you are an awful person regardless of anything else. My brother had a GF who one day brought over her best friend to meet him. When GF was out of the room, best friend told him she was a better cook, a better cleaner, and that he should go out with her, not the GF. So he did. Dumped his GF and started dating this girl. When he told me, I immediately told him to dump her or he'll be sorry. He didn't, and he was. How could anyone not understand that someone willing to do that to her best friend was a... Since the beginning is 2019, I've gone back to school. I'm 42. I'm losing weight, 84 pounds so far, and my fiance is pregnant, about 5 weeks. It'll be our first one for both. Let's just say that not only do I believe in what you said, but I've also decided to act on it on a daily basis from now on. We have one life to live. Make the most out of it. I've still got a lot of work in front of me to be half the man I wish I'll become, but I'm already so far ahead of the lazy, out of shape and resentful salesman I was a few months ago. Edit. Whoa. Thank you all for the comments and thanks for the gold and silver. I'm truly grateful for the support. If I can help anyone, send me a message. Politicians are public servants and are there to serve the people. If they are found to be corrupt or partake in any illegal activities, they should have all their assets seized, therefore impacting their families, and then thrown in jail for life. The abuse of the public's trust should be regarded as treason. The fact that you're a minority, whether it be by race, gender, sexuality, etc., does not stop you from being racist, sexist, homophobic yourself. I've seen this way too much in my life. Edit. I know this bothers people, but I do appreciate the silver, kind stranger. Religion is the most disgusting, blindly following act humans have ever committed their beliefs on. Christianity single-handedly set technological advances back 1000 years thanks to the Dark Ages, and it's been either the forefront or a subtle reasoning behind every major war in history. Edit. Thanks for the awards, kind strangers. Science should be at the heart of our decision-making process for all that is important. Side note, science is a method, not a result. This means that our body of knowledge will change over time. Embracing what we know we don't know should be seen as a sign of strength, not weakness. Edit. First silver and first post to blow up. Thanks. Happy to hear the varied responses, and love to follow up with y'all in future threads. The left feeds off of lazy intellectualism and gives young people something to be militantly passionate about when their lives are ultimately mind-numbingly safe and unchallenging. Edit. Welcome to Sort by Controversial. How tough are ya? Communism is the most murderous form of government ever to arise in human history, and everyone who flirts with it should suffer opprobrium. The USA should have a ban on guns. Downvote me, I don't care, it's my opinion. Edit. I should add a few reasons why I think this. It's not something I just strongly think for no reason. 1. There would be statistically less deaths per year. One of the biggest causes of death in the US, that isn't disease related, is death by a shot from a gun. Note, I said one of the biggest, not the biggest. Check out Japan, great first world country with all the right and liberties such as the US, and guns are banned there. They have all the freedom you could want to assure a good quality of life, and the only thing they can't do is own a gun. Per year less than 20 people die from a gun related incident in Japan, and they have more than twice the population as the US and less than half of the space. All of this would mean more safety, less chance to die by outside. 2. No, criminals are not going to magically stop trying to get guns, but it would be harder for them to have access. They would probably try and get their hands on other sorts of weapons such as knives. People would get hurt, but statistically less people would die. People seem to think that as soon as guns are banned from the public it'll mean that they are unsafe from criminals, as if the only reason criminals aren't killing you right now is because you own a gun. Of course a ban on guns will never actually happen, no matter how much I personally think they should. Americans are afraid of trying something to change the current conditions of the country, and I mean that in many aspects, not just gun control. If people or the government don't want to ban guns altogether, they should at least do something, because all they seem to be doing is trying to prepare people for any firearm attempts rather than avoid them altogether. Fundamentally, you shouldn't be provided healthcare if you intentionally do something to yourself, causing a drain on the system for people who truly need it, rather than going to therapy of some sort. Examples: smoking and lung cancer, overeating to the point of morbid obesity and heart disease, chewing tobacco and gum disease, etc. If you intentionally your life up, because that's what it is your fault entirely. Small note, this would only apply to legal adults. In the same breath, therapy should be covered by health insurance for the above problems in the case of hereditary addiction. In American politics, neither the Democrats nor the Republicans give two about the American public. Both parties will feed us lies and bull to get our votes. All either party is interested in is gaining or maintaining power in Washington. To do this, they need money. To get money, they cater to the rich, powerful lobbies, and large corporations. The people, we are just an afterthought. Edit. Thank you for the platinum, kind stranger. I honestly appreciate it. Vaccines are necessary and important, and if you're more afraid of your child having autism than you are afraid of your child dying from a preventable illness, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Also, for the millionth time, vaccines do not cause or remotely have any effect on one's chances of being diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. For the stable, responsible parents of Reddit, dealing with and raising children can be made easier by remembering that you were a half-feral monster from the foulest depths of hell at their age. You won't be any less annoyed, but it might help you keep your temper in check when it comes to correcting their summoning ritual. Nothing worse than when a 5-year-old screws up calling the eldritch horrors from the inky black of oblivion because they get distracted halfway through by We Bare Bears. There are two sides to every story. Edit. While you people take things way too literally and need to get out more, Y'all are coming up with scenarios and are talking like it's a CSI show. First off, there is a third party, but they never really matter until the end. Why? Well, because you need to hear the sides of both parties to get the full picture, and that's when the third party comes in. Honestly, it's sad that I actually had to explain this in 2019. I think this might just be recency bias, but it has been on my mind a lot lately. Prisons must operate on a system of rehabilitation, not punishment. It's the moral way to do things. It is better to try to rehabilitate 100 inmates, even the very worst, and fail at 90 than to not try at all. People say, well, certain people are irredeemable. Firstly, no, they aren't. There's statistical evidence to prove that even the worst criminals can be rehabilitated, can be, not will be. Secondly, and more importantly, when you start deciding who is and is not worth fixing, you open the system up to abuse. Again, it is better to try with everyone and fail at most than to not try at all and have some come out the other end okay. This is especially important with regards to the death penalty. It's more important to know the truth than to be happy. As George Bernard Shaw put it, the fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness, and by no means a necessity of life. Further, to grasp the truth, you have to be willing to take a glimpse into the darkest recesses of existence. Don't dwell there, but have a look. Teaching kids a sanitized version of history is worse than teaching them nothing at all. And no beloved historical figure who committed atrocities is just a product of their time. To say so disrespects all the people of the time who fought against injustice and opposed them. Same too for the victims of the atrocities. Appearances matter. You don't have to be fit or anything, but you do need to take care of yourself. The way you look, smell, dress, makes instant huge impacts on those around you long before they have a chance to get to know you. It's fine to be proud if you are a bit chunky, but there is a difference between little curvy and heart problem in weight. There's also a difference between skinny and borderline disorder. You don't have to take appearances too heavily, but they do need to be taken a little more seriously as attributes to your health and general well-being. I'm late to this party, but my vote goes to hurting helpless creatures is the purest form of evil that will ever exist, and this is apparently controversial. I'm totally flabbergasted by how we all make excuses for people who hurt puppies, children, etc. Edit, cows, pigs, food. It's so patently obvious to me that this behavior represents the worst of what we are, and if I ever bring this up I have to convince people that I'm being totally serious. Hurting a helpless thing is literally the definition of evil, but everyone gets all philosophical on me and insists that we consider the context. No, you're evil. Edit, hurting helpless creatures makes a person evil is my most ardent belief. It is not a popular stance. I have a few good ones. If someone hits you, you have every right to hit back. If you see a muscular guy beating up a skinny guy, you can defend the small guy by beating up the big guy. If you're not happy in a relationship, admit it. When people say, I'll try, what it really means is, I'm gonna keep doing what annoys you, without regard for how you feel. Don't force your beliefs on anyone. It only makes them not want to be near you. Faking mental illness is just plain ked up. Don't do it.